Hi, welcome to TUTV. I'm Sarah Moore.
And I'm Joe McCurdy. We're glad to have everyone back after spring break. Sorry for almost cutting you off.
You're so good. I was going to say, Joe, what did you do over spring break?
I stayed in Tulsa, and I got to go to the OSU-TU softball game.
Rain came, baby.
We'll hear a little bit about that later. Yeah, it was, I got to get all my laziness out of the way then. So, we got like 6 weeks left of the school year. So I could lock in and get ready to finish up my junior year.
Yeah, so. I was not lazy. I went to St. Louis for a photography conference, which was really fun, except now I'm super tired and feel like I didn't do like any homework over break.
Yeah.
And so I just am like super behind.
Well, it sounds like you're judging me for being lazy.
No, I'm jealous of you being lazy.
All right.
I was lazy the first couple of days I was home until I left for my conference. So.
Yeah, no, it's, you're able to take a break and kind of reset, which I think we all need.
Yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed your breaks. We're going to be done with our little break right here, and we're going to move into news.
Yeah, we'll be back.
Welcome back to TUTV. I'm Avery.
And I'm Hunter Lynn. Today we'll be bringing you news from Moscow to the highest court in the land and from Poland to Afghanistan. Let's get right into it.
Yesterday, the Republic of Poland scrambled F-16 fighter jets in a response to a Russian missile which entered the country's airspace en route to Ukraine. Poland activated the fighter jets immediately after the missile entered its airspace near the village of Ozerdaw. In the southeast of the country, the missile remained over Polish territory for 39 seconds before re-entering Ukraine. Fighter jets from Poland's NATO allies were also activated in response to the event. Poland requested a response from the Russian government after the incident. Tensions between NATO and Russia have risen in recent months as the war in Ukraine enters its 26th month.
The supreme leader of the Taliban, Mullah Hibatullah Akhundzada, defended the stoning of women as a public execution method in a state television broadcast last weekend. Akhundzada, who has never been seen in public, compared the stoning of women to the defense of human rights. According to Akhundzada, quote, "We will soon implement the punishment for adultery. We will flog women in public. We will stone them to death in public," end quote. The Taliban regained control of Afghanistan in 2021, promising at first to govern moderately. Since then, however, the group has infringed on women's rights in a strict interpretation of Islamic law. Women have been banned from attending school past the 6th grade in Afghanistan for 3 years. "We, the women, are living in prison," end quote, said Tala, an Afghan former civil servant, when interviewed by The Telegraph.
Early this morning, the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, Maryland, suffered a catastrophic failure and collapse after being struck by the container ship Dolly. The nearly 1,000-foot-long Dolly experienced a power outage shortly before colliding with the bridge. The ship's crew sent a Mayday signal, which allowed Maryland authorities to close the bridge to traffic moments before its collapse. 6 members of a construction crew are still unaccounted for, however. The Key Bridge, as it was known to locals, boasted the 3rd longest continuous truss of any bridge before its collapse. The bridge was an important part of the Baltimore Beltway, a ring road around the city, and saw over 11 million vehicles per year.
All this, and I have to talk about. Last Friday, gunmen opened fire in the Crocus City Hall in Moscow before setting the music venue on fire, killing 139 people in all. The attack, Russia's deadliest in years, was swiftly claimed by the Islamic State in Khorasan, a regional affiliate of the terrorist group ISIS based in eastern Afghanistan. While Russian President Vladimir Putin stated that, quote, "the crime was committed by the hands of radical Islamists," end quote, he went on to accuse Ukraine and the West of collaboration. Russian intelligence chief Alexander Bortnikov falsely claimed that the US, UK, and Ukraine were directly responsible for the attack. 4 Tajik men were arrested and charged with perpetrating the attack. Violent videos posted online purport to show the accused being tortured by interrogators, with one man apparently being force-fed his own ear. Another suspect seemed to be missing an eye during a recent court appearance.
Today, the United States Supreme Court heard oral arguments in a landmark case that will affect how Americans have abortions, even in states where abortion rights are protected. The case, known as FDA versus Alliance for Hippocratic Medicine, concerns mifepristone, a drug which is used alongside another medication, misoprostol, to terminate a pregnancy. Mifepristone is currently approved through 10 weeks of gestation and has been effective 99.6% of the time in studies. Despite mifepristones being widely considered safe and effective and having been approved for over 2 decades, the group of anti-abortion doctors who brought the lawsuit claim that the FDA did not properly regulate the drug. The Fifth Circuit Court agreed with the anti-abortion group before an appeal brought the case before the Supreme Court. A ruling in favor of the Alliance for Hippocratic Medicine would restrict abortion access even in states where abortions are legal and well protected. If the Supreme Court agrees with the Circuit Court's decision, mifepristone would become available only in clinics instead of in pharmacies or online. In that case, abortion clinics would face thousands of new patients, potentially overwhelming them and increasing wait times. So we have a lot of stories. I think one of the ones that is sticking with me is definitely the Maryland Bridge.
Certainly.
I had not heard about that. So are you familiar with Maryland?
Yes, in fact, most of my family is from the Baltimore, Philadelphia area. My dad drove that bridge many times to get to work. I've traveled on it myself. And so for Marylanders, you understand the importance of that bridge and of the Port of Baltimore itself. It's a huge importation center for goods. The bridge being collapsed means that ships cannot enter the Baltimore harbor right now, which could have a huge effect on logistics in this country for months even.
Yeah, and that's terrible to hear. Well, that's all the news we have for today, so we'll see you next time. I'm Avery.
I'm Hunter. Man.
Welcome back to TUTV. Today I'm here with the president of Students for Sustainability, Julian. It's so great to have you here. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Hey, thank you, Sarah. It's great to be here too. I'm Julian Abhari, president of Students for Sustainability. I'm a computer science and cybersecurity major, and growing up, I've always cared a lot about sustainability and our existential climate and climate change and just getting involved in sustainable initiatives.
Yeah, that's awesome. Really exciting to hear. So how did you first get involved with the club? Because you kind of resurrected it. So what did that look like?
That's a great question. Yeah, so the club, Students for Sustainability, had fallen due to the pandemic.
Yeah.
And in 2022, it was actually it was the current president of the Student Association, Kareem, who got me and a group of really passionate environmentalists together to brainstorm how we could resurrect the club. And very quickly, it became clear that what we needed was an organization for like passionate environmentalists to get involved in creating direct action to build a better and greener campus and community.
Yeah.
So currently we've like done this by having extensive like volunteer and outreach opportunities and events around the campus and the community, in which we'll have like what we call our Sustainable Saturdays, where initially in 2022 to 2024, we were picking up trash in the downtown area and just helping to clean up the community. And since then, we've expanded to have a lot more volunteer opportunities, including volunteering for planting trees with the Up With Trees movement in Tulsa. Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. And then we help out with like the Met, and which is it's a recycling center here in Tulsa, and we also have been helping to help with community gardens here in Tulsa. So we have like the urban Tipton Community Garden, and so we'll go there to help them plant. And these are the events that our members join all of us to like go as a group and just really get involved in trying to create a greener community.
I love that. That's so great. And it's nice that you guys are like actually not just like promoting change, but putting in a lot of change into our community. And it's just like really nice to see like people going out and doing that stuff. I love it. So what are some things that you guys have going on for the rest of this semester that we can look forward to?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for the rest of the semester, we have our elections coming up, in which members of our organization, which we currently have about 140 members. So we're still growing for sure. But we'll be passing on the mantle to the next administration to take over. And the future for Students for Sustainability is looking kind of bright, as we've been incorporating these lunch and learn events to try and promote outreach for students who want to get involved, but maybe they don't have the time to necessarily volunteer, and also to even get them involved with like job opportunities.
Wow.
So we had the Oklahoma State Representative come and talk to us about Oklahoma's future for renewable energy, and that was a really exciting time. We had a lot of great networking that event.
That's so cool. I didn't even know that you guys like did stuff like that. I love it. So do you have any like final things you'd like to say about getting involved, or like a favorite activity that you guys have done, like a favorite memory of the club?
Yeah, sure. Well, so if anyone would like to get involved, the easiest way is to follow us on our Instagram at utulsa.sfs, short for Students for Sustainability.
Nice.
And then join our group me and stay tuned for volunteering and event opportunities. But one of my personal favorite events that we've put on was it was like a giant garage sale where we just had people just exchange recycling materials back and forth, and just like things that they wanted to get rid of. So we had we had lots of clothes, TVs, etc.
That's awesome. I love stuff like that. That's so fun, and like especially great, like for international students or people that are just like here short term. That's really great and super fun. Okay, sweet. Well, thank you so much for talking to me today.
Thank you, Sarah.
And I'm Brenton Jennings. Hey, we have some awesome sports news to get into. Let's get right into it. The 2023-2024 men's basketball season has come to a close. After a first-round loss to East Carolina in the American Conference Tournament, the Golden Hurricane will not see any postseason play. Tulsa ended this season with a 16-14 record, their first winning season since the 2019-2020 season, where the Golden Hurricane went 21-10. In his second year as the head coach, Eric Conkle tripled his win total from the previous season, where the Golden Hurricane won only a measly 5 games overall. The season was capped off with a plethora of conference awards, where 3 Tulsa players received recognition. PJ Haggerty is honored with the Freshman of the Year and third-team All-Conference team after averaging 21 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists on the year. PJ was joined by fellow freshmen Tyshawn Archie and Matt Reed on the All-American All-Freshman team.
Tulsa women's basketball is making a postseason run and has reached the 3rd round of the WBIT. After losing in the first round of the AAC tournament, the 23-9 Golden Hurricane missed out on the NCAA tournament, but received a bid from the Women's Basketball Invitational. After securing the 3 seed, Tulsa was set to host the first-round matchup between Golden Hurricane and the Arkansas Razorbacks. Tulsa dominated from start to finish, with their largest lead being 28. With a huge performance from Elise Hill scoring 18 points off the bench, Tulsa cruised by the Razorbacks 80-62. Tulsa's second-round matchup against Georgetown saw more competitive basketball. After Tulsa went up 11 points in the first, they struggled to maintain a dominant lead, letting Georgetown within single digits multiple times throughout the game. Tulsa was able to pull away in the last 2 minutes, securing a 73-61 victory and a berth in the third round against Illinois on Thursday.
On Tuesday, the Golden Hurricane faced off against their first home-ranked matchup of the season with the Oklahoma State Cowgirls coming to Tulsa. Coming into the game, OSU was ranked number 4 in the country with a 24-3 record. The last time Tulsa had beaten a top 10 opponent was in '09 when Tulsa beat number 5 A&M. In front of a sold-out crowd, Tulsa defended their home field and defeated the Cowgirls 3-0. Junior Maura Moore got the start at pitcher and proceeded to pitch a complete game shutout, only giving up 4 hits. Tulsa's 3 runs came in the 4th and 6th innings. In the 4th inning, a double by junior Clara Skaggs scored a Monty Edwards, putting Tulsa on the board first. In the 6th, Haley Morgan and Monty Edwards both scored off a fielding error by OSU, securing the 3-0 victory. This marks the 100th victory for head coach Chrissy Stemple and improved Tulsa's record to 19-8.
Tulsa rowing held their only home race this weekend, facing off against Creighton in Catoosa, Oklahoma. The Varsity 4+ was the first boat to race on the Verdigris River as the Hurricane clocked a time of 8 minutes and 57.8 seconds, beating Creighton by more than 15 seconds. Tulsa's first Varsity 8+ boat outdistanced Creighton by nearly 20 seconds with a winning time of 6 minutes and 54.1 seconds. In the second Varsity 8+ race, Tulsa clocked a time of 7 minutes 16.8 seconds to Creighton's 7 minutes 59.3 seconds. Tulsa's third Varsity 8+ boat finished with a 7 minutes 36.5 seconds time, while Creighton came in at 9 minutes 57.6 seconds after a Blue Jay rower lost a seat at 500 meters. With this being Tulsa's only home race of the season, Tulsa honored their 7 seniors. After the race, head coach Brandon Campbell shouted out the fans that attended the race, saying, quote, "A big thank you goes out to our fans and supporters who were there to cheer on our team on Senior Day," end quote. Tulsa will race again this weekend in Sarasota, Florida, as they compete in the Sunshine State Invitational.
March Madness is underway as brackets across America continue to get busted. The Sweet 16 is set, with the Cinderella of the year being number 11 seed NC State, who will match up against number 2 Marquette. Big names such as Kentucky, Kansas, Baylor, and Auburn all miss out on the Sweet 16 after being rejected to make the Elite 8. Number 14 seeded Oakland stole America's heart after defeating Kentucky in the first round thanks to grad transfer Jack Golke, who put up 32 points on 50% from 3 and nearly made it to the Sweet 16, but were knocked off by NC State in overtime. All number 1 seeds remain in the tournament, with Purdue, Houston, North Carolina, and UConn finding no issue in advancing thus far. Play continues Thursday afternoon. So, Hunter, as I just read, March Madness is underway, and I don't know about your bracket. I don't know if you made one, but mine's pretty bad.
Is it? Well, you know, I suffered many years of just colossal defeats, and I decided not to make a bracket this year. I figured I would just focus on the games, get to watch and enjoy every team and see what happened. And then, of course, there are practically no upsets, very few low seeds in the Sweet 16. It's a very standard tournament, in my opinion.
Right. I was so confident, as I am every year, so I called it the Brenton J answer key, but it definitely wasn't that at all. I've had brackets that I just filled out randomly that are doing a lot better, but it's all good.
It turns out that when your chances are 1 in millions and millions, it's actually pretty difficult to be perfect. Who'd have thunk?
Who would have thought? Anyway, I'm Brenton.
And I'm Hunter, and we will be back with you in a few minutes. And welcome back, Tulsa. I'm Hunter Lynn.
And I'm Avery Jamerson. We have some truly spectacular entertainment news this week, so let's get right to it. Kate Middleton announced that she has been diagnosed with cancer through a video message released this Friday. The Princess of Wales was diagnosed after undergoing routine testing following a major abdominal surgery in January, and has not disclosed the type of cancer or its progression. Sympathies poured in from public figures following Middleton's announcement, including well wishes from British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, who stressed the respect for the family's privacy during this time. Middleton and her husband, Prince William, have been the subject of intense tabloid speculation over their absence from the public eye during recent months, with rumors resurfacing following the release of a poorly photoshopped Mother's Day picture on March 10th. Middleton has asked for, quote, time, space, and privacy while I complete my treatment, as she undergoes preventative chemotherapy. This is yet another blow to the British royal family, as last month King Charles also revealed he is receiving treatment for an unspecified type of cancer.
Musician Bruce Springsteen returned to performing last Tuesday, restarting the tour he paused last year due to health concerns. The 74-year-old artist took the stage alongside the E Street Band in Phoenix, Arizona, to kick off the reboot of Springsteen's first tour in more than 5 years. Following multiple show cancellations last September, the Boss postponed the remainder of his tour until 2024 due to health concerns, which was later revealed as a peptic ulcer disease that caused significant diaphragm and stomach pain that prevented him from singing. The artist rescheduled the remainder of his tour out through November of this year, including a summer leg in Europe. Springsteen also told the E Street radio channel that unlike his 2023 performances, the rebooted tour will feature a wider selection of songs with more varied styles, evoking his traditional practice of changing the set lists for every performance.
Brothers and filmmakers Cameron and Colin Careens are responding to criticism of their recent project, Late Night with the Devil, which is alleged to have used AI-generated art for multiple interstitial illustrations. The 70s-era horror film, which releases in theaters this weekend, stars David Dastmalchian as a late-night show host who invites demonic guests on stage to boost ratings. Social media users have identified the fictional show's graphics, including title cards and commercial break inserts, as AI-generated images. This resulted in a widespread criticism towards the film and its producers, especially considering the lengthy 2023 Hollywood union strikes that focused heavily on workers' protections against AI-generated content. In a statement to Variety, the brothers said that, quote, experimented with AI for 3 still images, end quote, but the photos underwent further editing and refining from the graphics and production design teams. Lead actor Dastmalchian also commented that he regards the film as a, quote, thoroughly original piece of work.
This Sunday night was one of laughs and memories, as comedian Kevin Hart was awarded the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor in honor of his incredible career in comedy and its impact on American culture. In a gala ceremony at the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, tributes and colleague testimonials were presented, celebrating Hart's successful and influential stand-up career that carried a signature motor-mouth delivery, self-deprecation, and boundless on-stage energy. In addition to his 4 Netflix specials and numerous comedy tours, Hart has expanded his comedy to the film industry, taking on lead roles in major hits such as Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle and Central Intelligence. The Lifetime Achievement Award is named after the iconic American writer and satirist Mark Twain, annually honoring comedic performers who have made a lasting impact on humor and culture. Previous recipients include Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Jon Stewart, Whoopi Goldberg, and Dave Chappelle.
New docuseries Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV, is making waves with its bombshell investigation into the toxic workplace culture of the children's network Nickelodeon, specifically during the leadership period of producer Dan Schneider. The disturbing investigation exposes the abusive misconduct of many individuals on hit children's series such as The Amanda Show, iCarly, and Zoe 101, all seemingly under the umbrella of Schneider's hostile work environment. Schneider and Nickelodeon parted ways in 2018, but the docuseries reveals a multitude of distressing incidents of harassment and abuse during his tenure, sometimes directed at young cast members. Cast members of teen sketch series All That revealed they were often coerced into lewd and racially insensitive skits that were frequently traumatic to the actors and their families. The investigative series focused heavily on Schneider's conduct on and off set, which included sexual harassment towards female writers and an abusive temperament towards production teams. A spokesperson for Schneider has vigorously denied all allegations made in the discomforting docuseries, which is now streaming on Investigation Discovery. Well, I personally was not a Nickelodeon kid growing up
Me either. I was not a television kid at all.
at all. You didn't watch any television.
I watched only a little bit. Maybe if the Super Bowl was on and the Ravens were playing, that's about it.
All right, interesting. For me, I was definitely on Cartoon Network a lot. I watched some Disney Channel, and then I was familiar with some Nickelodeon. But I mean, all of this coming out has been really, shocking for some people, but I've been following some of it along on YouTube even before this docuseries came out. Did you know about all of the abuse and like Dan Schneider?
I didn't. I had no idea, so this was a complete surprise to me.
Yeah, well, me too. That's all the time we have for today, so see you next week.
Brad Carson. Goldie, wasn't that the best spring break ever? Nothing like soaking up the sun on a beach.
You said it, Brad. But, don't we have something important to do today?
Oh no! I completely forgot! We have a meeting with the faculty to discuss the new curriculum changes.
And I have to give a speech to the students about responsible pet ownership.
We can't go in there unprepared. We need help, and fast. ChatGPT, we need your assistance.
How can I help you today, Brad and Goldie?
We need to come up with a plan for curriculum changes and a speech about pet ownership.
Let's brainstorm together. For the curriculum changes, how about emphasizing more hands-on learning experiences for the students? Maybe integrating internships or community projects into the curriculum.
That's brilliant! I'll give our students practical skills while also fostering community engagement.
And for my speech, maybe I could talk about the importance of spaying and neutering pets and promoting adoption from animal shelters.
Excellent idea, Goldie. You can also touch on responsible pet care practices like regular vet checkups and proper training.
Perfect! Thanks, ChatGPT. You've saved the day once again.
Back to Tulsa after a relaxing spring break, and I forgot to write an episode of Brad Carson and Adventures. Guess I'm just gonna have to ask ChatGPT to write an episode for me.
ChatGPT, the best tool for college procrastinators.
Oh,
Hi, and welcome back. So what did you think of that episode of Brad Carson Adventures, Joe?
I think I could relate to it on some level, but not a complete and total level, and so I won't be reported to student conduct.
Joe uses ChatGPT?
Nuh-uh.
See, I'm very anti-AI, of course, as a graphic
Hey,
designer.
You know, if you remember, call back to last episode when we interviewed the chair of the Tulsa
Yes.
AI, and I forgot the
Whatever
rest of the
it's
acronym.
called, yeah.
I feel bad because I asked him like 5 times. I was like,
It's
what
a
does
long
it mean again?
name.
It's a long
Maybe
name.
AI wrote their name.
Probably. So AI's writing everything. Like there was a story today about AI.
Maybe we're going to start having AI write all of our stories. Maybe we'll do
So-
a whole AI episode where it writes all the news. And
No, see that's the thing. ChatGPT
Writes
doesn't do
what we
do
say.
anything past like 2021.
What?
Yeah. So if you type in, give me sports news from February, like from the previous day, it'll be like, I cannot comprehend.
That's crazy.
So trust me, I've tried.
Joe uses ChatGPT for
no,
TUTV?
There's sometimes it's just been like, it's midterms, and I'm like, I have to write these stories.
Damn.
Let's try ChatGPT.
We're calling
And
you
see,
out.
obviously Glenn did the same thing. So
Well, Glenn did it as
throw
a
him under the bus. Let's go.
Glenn did it as a creative endeavor, which although I can't completely support, I do think is very funny.
I think we've all used ChatGPT for creative endeavors.
I've never used
Every
it.
essay I've ever written has been a creative endeavor.
I've tried to use generative fill before on Photoshop, but my computer's from
Okay, that counts.
No, I didn't successfully use it because my computer was from 2015, and so it shut down. And I said, this is the world telling me not to give in to AI, so I have not used it ever since.
Photoshop is so different than ChatGPT. Trust me.
Yeah, but it's still AI. Generative fill.
Agree to disagree?
Sure.
All right. Well, that's where we'll end it. It's been a pleasure. We're back. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.